a lot of the boxing fans have said, is Chris Eubank Jr. developing his own style, or is he trying too hard to be another Roy Jones Jr.? What are your thoughts on that?
He could never be another Roy Jones Jr. I'm just saying, and I can never be a Chris Eubank.
Yeah.
He has what he has, and I have what I have. My goal is to take his DNA and make it the best that I can make it. I'm not trying to make him be a Roy Jones Jr.
And I know you're not going to give away tactics, but what improvements and what have you added to Chris Eubank Jr. to make him be able to deal with that relentlessness of Liam Williams?
To be quite frankly, the old Chris Eubank was better suited to deal with Liam Williams than the new Chris Eubank that I'm building. You feel me?
Yeah.
The old Chris Eubank was a warrior that don't mind that type of fight.
Okay.
So that Chris Eubank is probably the better one for this fight.
Jumping it with you.
Yeah?
I'm trying to think if I should get in the camera with you.
You see right here? That's right here.
I'm just trying to make sure.
Hey, sir. Hey.
Can you do me a favour? Can you see if we're in shot together here?
What's up, brother? How you doing? You all right?
Doing the rounds.
Good? Everything okay with you?
Good. Super. You or not? I think we leave like at 7:30.
Okay. Will you able to get me one more ticket?
Am I now?
Yeah.
It's mainly supposed to be on him anyway, but am I? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, thank you.
Delete that mirror. Watch that.
Let me know because I want to go too.
Okay, I'll text you.
Right then.
Yeah.
October Red Boxing, back with the one and only Roy Jones. It's the reunion. Yep. We keep doing this. We keep meeting each other.
Over and over, but it's always lovely.
Yesterday's face-off, I want to get straight into it. You were standing there on stage. You saw them face off. What energy were you picking up from the opposition yesterday?
I picked up the energy that he wants to win. He's a bit boiling over, and I like that because my guy is very calm and low-key. And if you can get the other guy to boil over, in my mind, you have advantage already because he's so into it, he's going to come and put all of his heart, soul, and mind into it, trying to hurt you. And you get to use your mind and box him like you're supposed to do. So far, everything's going just like I want to see it go.
That's what I was going to say, because the pressers leading up to it, Liam came across quite calm, composing his words, more relaxed. But yesterday, he seemed to just, I don't know, flip his lid, and literally, he was just ready to go yesterday.
Yeah, and I like it because being ready to go yesterday did nobody any good, because today is a fight. So you need to be ready to go today, not yesterday.
Training Eubank then? Training young Chris. Yeah. How's that been going? Because obviously we had the delay with this fight. They were supposed to fight December the 11th. That got pushed back. I know I've seen you travelling about all around the world. How's the training picked back up with Chris to get him prepared for this fight?
It's the craziest thing ever because Chris is so obedient and such a very good student that when I see him, when I get back to him again, no matter how long it's been, he's right on top of everything that I last taught him. And so it's so easy to continue to teach him things because what I teach him, he does not forget. So for a long time, even when he was in Pensacola, I would tell my people, I said, well, I don't really know if he really getting this or not, Then 2 days later when he come back in the gym, he got it all, just like I taught it. I'm like, wow. I said, y'all think he's not paying attention. He's learning every day and going thing I teach him. So I'm so surprised, but it makes me feel good inside to see that he's dedicated himself to trying to better himself.
And we'll talk about his training because we saw him out in America, and I've got to admit I got a bit confused thinking, don't tell me he's changed coaches again, because I saw him out there with somebody else. How did it feel then for you as a coach? You're the main coach, you're the head coach, you're the lead coach, to say to somebody else, look after him for a minute while I take care of my business?
I don't really say anything to anybody else. He just goes and does things that he wants to do because he's been doing that his whole career. So he knows how to go out and enjoy guys, have fun with the pads, and just go through the motions. But he knows the difference. You understand? He knows what I teach, and he knows ain't too many people teaching what I teach. That's why he has me. So I don't really worry because I know he wants to get better. To get better, I'm the best way for him to get better because he understands me, and now I understand him. So everybody else, they can teach him, but they don't understand all the ins and outs that it takes to make a person like him get better.
And you mentioned the other coach was saying, I'm not sure if he gets it, but when he came back, he was on point, he was sharp. What does it take for somebody to be able to read Chris Eubank? Because he is somebody that you'll look at and you can't really tell what's going through his mind. He's reserved, he's calm, but he's got this poker face. He'll throw out the occasional smirk or the snarl, say when the fans are booing or whatever. But other than that, what does it take to get to know someone like Chris Eubank Jr.?
Time. You have to be around him for time. Once you're around him for time, you'll get to know him. It's like, to me, I always tell people, to me, he's one of the funniest people you'll ever meet. And it reminds me a lot of myself because I've always been a jokester my whole life. He's very funny like that. So he's one of the funniest guys I've seen in a long time. He always makes me laugh harder than he knows that I laugh. I be laughing so hard because it reminds me a lot of myself too. But to see him be able to take things and twist them around and use them to his advantage is the most admirable thing you can ever have. So I love to see him do it. But the biggest part about him is that he's one of the best students that I have. I have probably 4 students that are really downright understand, get it, and go for the gusto with everything I teach them. He's probably at the top of that list. So when you have kids that are guys that, not because they're not kids, all of them, some of them kids, some of them not. He's not. He's a man. But when you have people that come in and understand who and what you are and really want to learn it like that from you, and you see them take it and use it, it's a beautiful thing.
You mentioned how he's quite obedient and he listens. A lot of the boxing fans have said, is Chris Eubank Jr. developing his own style, or is he trying too hard to be another Roy Jones Jr.? What are your thoughts on that?
He could never be another Roy Jones Jr. I'm just saying, and I can never be a Chris Eubank.
Yeah.
He has what he has, and I have what I have. My goal is to take his DNA and make it the best that I can make it. I'm not trying to make him be a Roy Jones Jr., and I'm not trying to change myself to be a Chris Eubank, because we are different things. But we can have a healthy median that we can take the two and put them together and get the most out of him. So when I train guys, this is one of the biggest mistakes people make. Roy does not try to make guys be Roy Jones Jr. Roy takes guys and he looks at their DNA, and he figures out, how do I better this guy and his DNA? That's what I train for. I don't train to make Roy Jones Jr.'s. Ain't no such thing as making another Roy Jones Jr. I'm not trying to do that. My goal is to make the best Chris Eubank Jr. that we can get.
And we talk about making the best Chris Eubank Jr. Liam Williams is known as a come-forward, aggressive fighter, somebody that just wants to stick all over you like a rash. A style, and I know you're not going to give away tactics, but what improvements and what have you added to Chris Eubank Jr. to make him be able to deal with that relentlessness of Liam Williams?
To be quite frankly, the old Chris Eubank was better suited to deal with Liam Williams than the new Chris Eubank that I'm building. You feel me?
Yeah.
The old Chris Eubank was a warrior that don't mind that type of fight.
Okay.
So that Chris Eubank is probably the better one for this fight. However, because Liam is durable, I do want to see a little bit of the new Chris Eubank too. So I'm going to see, can we sprinkle some of that in. But if we happen to just get the old Chris Eubank, there's nothing wrong with that. Because the old Chris Eubank is good enough to beat Liam Williams, and then that's probably the better way to beat Liam, because it takes Liam out of his game. Because the old Chris Eubank fights the same way that Liam Williams fights, but he's better at it than Liam Williams. So the old Chris Eubank has a better game plan for beating Liam Williams than the new one would. So I'm not going to go in and try to say, hey, let's do this stuff. No. That may not be necessary. What you knew already, it may be the best thing to beat this dude with. You feel me? So people don't understand. I'm not egotistical. I want to see whatever works to happen. So if the old Chris Eubank was better suited for this, let's go back to the old Chris Eubank. Let's do what we got to do and get him if he gives us a problem. Now, if you want to go out and try to box around and see how it does, fine. That don't work, throw that raw stuff out the window. Pull old Chris Eubank back in, let's get this over with. We'll move to the raw stuff when it comes time for it, you feel me? So it's like, I'm not so egotistical that I'm saying, no, go out and do it exactly what no, but let's go beat this dude. I don't care how we beat him. We got to beat the old Chris Eubank to beat this dude. Let's go beat the old Chris Eubank. We got time, but we need to beat this dude.
Now that is music to my ears because I know that your IQ is heavy. We spoke about it in the last fight that he had when the guy came out and switched his stance to confuse him. So the first couple of rounds he was like finding his feet, came back into you, you gave him the technique, and it worked.
Of course, I'm all about being tactical to win a fight. I'm not worried about, I'm not egotistical. I'm not trying to make people see me or see what I've taught them. Or if we can do that, cool. Our goal is to win the fights. He brought me here to help him get better and help him get better at winning. So yeah, we're gonna try to get better at tactical things too, but our goal is to win.
You help him to plant his feet more, and his movement is more relaxed, more like he's dancing in there. The ring is your dance floor. You've got to know it well, know your moves, and be able to read your opponent. I'm just interested to see how he's going to move on that back foot and really show that ring generalship to keep out of Liam's way. And is he going to keep him long? Is he going to happily get inside and trade mid-range? Are we going to see a combination of things? Because this is a really good fight.
This is a very good fight. This is a very good opponent. And because of that, I think we're going to see a combination of things. But it just all depends on how Liam comes out. Because here's the one thing you got to remember. You never want to give a guy too much momentum in his hometown.
Okay.
You understand me? So we can't come out and move around and use that back leg too much.
Okay.
Because that'll give him too much momentum. So we use it. If we outbox him and get him what we want, okay, then we can use a little bit more. But if we're not getting what we want, then we got to go and let him know that, hey, now you know that this is how we do it, but we can do what you're trying to do better than you can. So if you want to do that, we can do. Let's just do that, as a matter of fact, if we have to. You feel me? So
I am super excited about it. Honestly, at first I thought, but we get through this fight, and I always like to stay positive. No, I'm not looking over any opponents, because you can't. It just takes that lapse in concentration, as you know, and it can be lights out. But what is your roadmap for Chris moving forward? What would you like to see for him? Because Chris has been one of these fighters that has used the name Next Gen, as you can see, wearing it for a while, but he is the Now Gen. So what is happening with Chris Eubank Jr. to move forward?
well, quite naturally in my mind, when he was talking Next Gen, Gennady Golovkin was the gen at that time.
Okay.
So now, to become the next gen, you got to move Gennady, and you got to step in that spot. And I think that's what Chris' ultimate long plan is. That's his long-term goal, I think, is to get Gennady out of the way, because I think he considered Gennady the generation then, and now he's saying he was next generation. Well, like you say, now it's becoming that time. So he's seeking to get Gennady out the first chance to get. But before we get to that, we do have to deal with Liam, like you said. So we're not worried about Gennady right now. We're all focused on Liam. But when we get past Liam, then he'll probably start looking toward Gennady.
I like that. So we're not going to look past it. I'm not going to mention any more opponents. So the card itself. Clarissa Shields on the card, a fellow American, fighting Colzin. You know, no stranger to wins and knockouts herself. How do you see that fight going, and why?
That's another very tough fight. Experience, I think, will probably lean towards Clarissa, because Clarissa has 2 gold medals. Yep. So she has a lot of, even it was amateur experience, but she has a lot of experience. Not many people can go out and win 2 gold medals. I mean, you have to go to the Cubans and people like that to find Lomachenko, or people like that to find people that can win 2 gold medals. I mean, you're dominant in the amateurs for 8 years. That's almost a decade. You feel me? That says a lot. So for her to do that, she has to be something special. Cousin is something special too. Cousin, how he said, but she does have her hands full tonight. So that's going to be a very good fight. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I'm interested to see what weapons and what technique she uses to break Cousin down. You understand me? Because Clarissa has a lot of different things that she can do. It's just like it's almost like the same fight with Eubank. What technique would they use to break the opponent down? Because they have options.
And it's about fighters having options, and it's about fighters not being one-dimensional, about them being unpredictable, being able to go in there and really read their opponent and come back and say, you know, or you give them that third eye advice to say, come on, what can we do now?
Exactly. That's what boxing is all about. That's what people don't understand. Boxing is not about being one-dimensional. If you can't be multi-dimensional, you can't be pound for pound one of the best boxers to fight. Chris is multidimensional. Chris is multidimensional. Looking forward to seeing some good fights from both of them. And I'm looking forward to see Harlem. Harlem has an ex-Olympian fighting, so I'm going to go watch Harlem fight first because he's fighting an ex-Olympian. I want to see how he does.
It's going to be an interesting night for sure. I spoke to somebody last week on an IG live that I did. His name's Dan Aziz. He's a British light heavyweight. We did an IG live and he was telling us about how he went out on his first ever amateur bout and he thought he was you. He tried to emulate you as a boxer and he got knocked out in the first round. I'm going to send you the clip, but could I ask that you give a message to Dan Aziz? He's in the light heavyweights at the moment. He fought Jose Burton last year on one of the boxer cards. A message for Dan Aziz, who clearly admires your style.
Dan Aziz, sorry for not getting that happening to you, but it's a lot more with my style than the eye can see. A lot of people tell you it's all natural ability, but it's really not. It's all technique. If you don't know the technique, then looking at the natural abilities, it will get you caught. So you have to be really careful when you copy my stuff. But in the future, if you come see me, I will show you how to do whatever it is you were trying to do, and you'll never get knocked out doing it again. So you come see me, and I'll show you whatever move it was that got you knocked out. I owe that to you to show you that move so you understand that move, and it teaches you from not letting people be able to knock you out. So whenever you get an opportunity, you come see me, and I'll make that up to you, all right? But God bless you, and thank you for being a follower of Roy Jones Jr.
Can't beat that support. Roy Jones, I know tonight is a night you need to get back upstairs, do what you need to do to prepare. It is always a pleasure and an honour to be in your company. I cannot wait for you to come back to the UK again. You know what? If you are in the UK, could I come down to your gym?
Of course, you're welcome to come down and check it out. You'll be amazed at some of the things that I teach Chris, the way that he picks it up, and you'll see for yourself how attentive he is and how diligently he studies and tries and makes sure he gets the moves down that I teach him.
Now that I'm looking forward to. October Red Boxing with the amazing Roy Jones Jr. See you later.
Okay, see you later.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Yep. Let me show you. Let me just show you this clip. Dan Aziz. Where's he gone?
Go out there and feel madness. I always try and tell everyone, just get your first fight out of the way. Then from there, then you can work around that. No, okay, I did this, I shouldn't have done that, or not. Because the first fight is going to be where it's going to be. And the first fight can always, be that deal breaker, whether, you know what, I'm not boxing anymore, or whether, you know what, I'm going to... Listen, let me tell you something. My first ever fight, do you know what happened in my first ever fight? I got knocked out in the first 20 seconds. No! Where to you? That's the only time I've ever been dropped, whatever. I swear to you, like, I have some crazy friends here. They were there, they were just laughing, like, I swear, like, we just there, we're just, like, my guys, they're just fun, we don't take anything to heart. So they're like, like, maybe you should, like, learn this books and stuff, like, you know what? I'm one of them people, I'm very stubborn, like, you know what? I said, no, I'm gonna keep at it till I get better, I have to. And then, I just kept at it. But yeah, it's funny. And imagine the guy who knocked me out, probably the shittiest fighter I've ever come across in life. I swear that, but that's just how crap I was. But yeah, that's funny. It was too funny. I remember I come because I used to watch a lot of Roy Jones and stuff. So yeah, I come out thinking that I could be Roy Jones, and I was dancing, I was proper happy, like, because I remember I think I was like maybe 19, 18, and this guy was a big man. He was like 27, I think.
So he talks about you. That's why I had to ask, because it's like you don't know how many people are like watching you, right, and how many fans that you've actually got. So yeah.
That's you right there, right?
Yes. So let me know when you're back, because I like going into the boxing gym. Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.